With perfect weather forecasted for the time that we were going to be away, as soon as we were ready on the Saturday morning, we started to make our way towards Waikerie, and it was at Cobdogla where we were going to be spending the next 2 nights. On our way to Cobdogla, we called into the Banrock Station winery and did a bit of wine tasting. On our Sunday drive we go to Loch 4 and have a look at the water level there, and then we go on to Loxton where we have a look at the Tree of Knowledge. On our round trip back to Cobdogla we have a look at the Kingston Bridge here on the Murray River, and then we check our Yabby nets and see what we've caught. We'll also show you the stunning array of hand knitted poppies as a tribute to the Anzacs. I'm Mick, and this is Sally. Together we've been caravanning Australia since the 1980s, and more recently we started to put the videos together just to show you some of what we see out there. There's a lot to see in Australia, and we hope you enjoy what we have here to show you. You can follow us on our trips via the following social media platforms. If you like the following video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It wasn't very many kilometres before we got to Cobdogla that we turned off here off the main highway and started to make our way towards Banrock Station. It's not the first time that we've visited this winery, but for the life of me I cannot remember this dirt road and the way that the road takes you into the winery, but it was a well-formed dirt road. There was nothing wrong with it, that's for sure. Banrock Station has its own wetlands, and when you look at the top of the screen there, you'll see them coming into view now. As we make our way into the winery, we agreed to buy some very friendly staff, and they soon show us to a table. We sampled 4 wines during our visit there today, and I could have easily walked out with a bottle of each wine, all of them very nice. For those patrons that wish to sit outside, they've got these outside seating areas, and from here you're overlooking the wetlands. After our time at Banrock Station, we were soon back on the road and arriving at Cobdogla Station Caravan Park. Yeah, g'day everyone. We are currently at the Cobdogla Caravan Park. And we're here for 2 nights, and whilst we're here hopefully we're going to catch some yabbies, so see how we go on that one. But this one may be the last video for a while, I'm not too sure how long. We've got a few family commitments and we're going to be looking after a couple of dogs, so we don't really want to take them away from society and put them in the caravan, maybe fill them up with prickles in a free camp or something like that, but no, so we're not real sure at this stage when the next video will go up, but see what happens in the long run, and we'll go back to the 2 weekly allotment of videos from here on in. We didn't do a lot on the Saturday afternoon. We just went down to the waterway here on the backwaters of the Murray River and had a look to see what people were doing in regard to yabbing and where they were setting their nets. It's amazing how quickly time will go when you're sitting around doing nothing, but before long we knew it was the start of another day, and it was the day that we were going to go for a drive. We had a very beautiful sunrise on the Sunday, and before long we were on the road and we started to make our way towards Berry, and from Berry we headed down to Loch 4 and had a look at the loch there, and then on to Loxton where we had a look at the Tree of Knowledge. From Loxton we went across to Maruk, and eventually we finished up at the Kingston Bridge on the Murray River, and then we finally made our way back to Cobdogla. We're now entering into Lock 4, and the area now is such a pretty sight to look at, and it's nice to see that the river's returning to some sort of normality with the level and allowing the lock to be able to operate as it should. We couldn't have asked for a nicer day to be out driving. There was no wind, a nice easy temperature to bear, wasn't too hot, too cold, no, just lovely to be out and about. It's always nice to see the green lawns on any of the locks that we visit along the Murray River. It's a credit to the people that look after them. Back late last year when the river was flooded, the lock that we can see here and the weir, that was all underwater, and the water was just going straight over the top of them. It's nice to see it as it is today. From lock number 4, we started to make our way towards Loxton, and it was there that we were going to have a look at the Tree of Knowledge. As we make our way down through the bottom of the main street of Loxton, we do a left-hand turn here, and as we turn left directly in front of us, you'll see the buildings there, and that's actually the Loxton Historical Village. We've never visited this, but we certainly will sometime in the future. Loxton's Tree of Knowledge, and if you have a look at all the markers here, they're the yearly markers that indicate where the flood levels have reached on that particular flood on that particular year. 1956 is the highest flood recorded here, and with the arrow going there, that's where the 2022 flood level reached. The area that surrounds the Tree of Knowledge, the ground, the lawns, was all underwater of course, but it is slowly making a recovery, so given time it should all once be green again. It's good to see that camping is now permitted back along the Murray River in this section of the river. With the perfect weather that we're experiencing today on our drive, the Murray River certainly was a picture to look at. As we made our way through Maruk, we had a quick stop and stretched the legs, got out for a bit of a walk, and like most of the other areas along the Murray River, it too was slowly recovering from the recent flooding. Our next stop on this drive was at the Kingston Bridge on the Murray River. Now this one here is showing it what it was on the day that we were there, and very picturesque, there's no doubt about that. A lot of the area to the left of the road as we're coming on the other side of the bridge, that was all underwater previously, and coming up very shortly I'll run a bit of video that we captured when that area there was all underwater, but it still looks very lovely, and some of the roads out there are open at the moment, but not all the roads. Coming up now, you'll see where all the water was on the left hand side of that road that I showed just previously, and how it covered the floodplains. Once the floodplains to the left did dry out, and we did go down there and have a look, it was amazing how the roads, and they're only gravel roads, how those roads survived the flooding. Once we got back to Cobdogla, it was time to go down and check our Yabby nets just to see what we had caught, and we had high hopes that we were going to at least get a feed that we could cook up and eat that night. Well, once we pulled the nets, our hopes were dashed, and it was a matter of changing the bait, putting fresh bait back in, and putting the nets back into the river just to see if we could finally catch something. It was disappointing for us because we actually caught no yabbies at all, and when we look at this gentleman here, he's pulling in his yabby net and it was just loaded with carp. I'm sure if carp were good to eat, we wouldn't be able to catch fish like this. Everyone that we spotted that had yabby nets in on today, no one was catching anything and there was just nothing around. We were listening to a couple of young lads talking, and it was only a week ago, I think it was, that they were up here, and one of them caught 250 yabbies in one day, so compared to what we caught today and only a week ago, it's a vast difference. After a disappointing catch of yabbies, we continued along the Murray River here and we went across to the other side of the road, which was the left hand side of the road just after the Kingston on the Murray Bridge, and we had a look at the floodplains here and we thought, oh, that'd be great to go canoeing or kayaking, and we found this launch here, and that's where you launch your kayaks or your canoes and go paddling up the river. Not very far from Cobdogla, there's a boat ramp, and the facilities around that boat ramp are currently closed, and they're working on that to bring them up to a usable state as soon as possible. Now flying over the top of that boat ramp, and it's nice to see the Murray River in the wonderful condition that it's in, with all the backwaters full. It certainly makes for lovely viewing. When we were travelling today between Barmera and Cobdogla, we spotted this array of hand knitted poppies, and it was such a pretty sight to see. As I say, they're all hand knitted, and what a great tribute to the Anzacs. The Cobdogla Caravan Park is a small country caravan park, and that's located within walking distance of the Murray River. The park has a lot of lawned area, and the check-in time for new arrivals is 2 p.m. in the afternoon unless specifically arrange something different, and this allows them time to maintain and look after their lawns. During our 2-night stay here, the caravan park was very busy, and there was a lot of people here for a number of nights, and some appeared to be as though they were here for many nights, but no sooner one site was vacated, and most likely the following day someone would fill that site. The amenity block is an older style amenities block, but certainly on the inside it had everything that you needed. Like the amenities block, the camp kitchen was small, but it had everything that you required that you wanted from a camp kitchen, from good cooking facilities to somewhere to wash your dishes, and even had power points to allow you to charge anything that you wanted to charge in the way of rechargeables. Directly alongside of the camp kitchen is there's 2 swimming pools here. The park has an array of cabins for the people that use that type of accommodation, and like the rest of the park, there's plenty of lawns around the cabins. During the times of the peak flooding last year, the caravan park had an extensive setup of levee banks around the caravan park so the water didn't come into the caravan park, and when you check in, asked to have a look at the picture that they've had taken of this, and it's a very beautiful picture, and it's on the wall there on display, and that shows how close the water did get to the park. It's a great little country caravan park, this one, and we enjoyed our 2 nights here, and it was on our final night that we were rewarded with a very colourful sunset. It was a nice evening and we just stood down by the backwaters there adjoining the caravan park, and we watched the different shades of the sky as the setting sun went down. Well, it brings us to the end of this video, and in doing that it also takes us a little bit closer to that magical retirement day, so not very far away now, maybe a couple of months, and then we'll be able to do a little bit more of this as we want. But been great weather here at Cobdogla, blue skies every day and no wind at all. It's been real good, but once we hit that retirement we can do this sort of thing, come up to a place like this and spend a couple of nights, or any number of nights really, and then move on to another place which is not very far away. An example of that, you know, you got Loxton and Banrock that we went through yesterday, so that will be on the cards no doubt. But until we get that next video up, when, as I said at the start, we're not real sure at this stage, but you take care and look after yourself. If you like the video that you just watched, give us a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of our videos, click on the subscribe button, and once you've done that, change the bell notification to all. That way every time that we do uploads to our YouTube channel, you'll be notified.